Surviving is a gradual process. Yes, the rich kids also cry in this country. Some of them are unhappy. Majority of international students feels it's about passing exam. But I bet you it is way more than that. Hello, how you all doing today? I don't know where you're watching this video from, what time zone you're watching this video from, but I just hope you're having an amazing evening, you're having an amazing afternoon, and you're having an amazing morning, depending what time you're watching this video. On this episode, I'm going to be dwelling on a very important point. It is not just about studying. It is about surviving. As an international student, studying in United States, UK, Australia, and Canada, and probably every other European country, right? Now, you need to realize that it is not just about studying, but it is about what? Surviving. Now, let's dive into this topic proper. Okay, so most international students, they are really excited moving into a new country. Most especially if that country is their dream country. They are so excited. They want to move in, they want to, start a new life and all of that. But then, one nightmare that you need to understand, if not, it will ruin your entire excitement. That thing is, you need to understand that it is not just about studying, it's about surviving. I've had conversations with a lot of international students, either on social media, chat, or in person, or even those that I know myself, or those I've seen in class too. I've asked a series of questions. And because of what I've heard, I decided to come here to share with you guys. And this is for international students or those intending to come, or even for parents who are sending their child to any country of their choice. That it is important that we all know that it is not just about study, but it is about surviving. Most students thought their biggest challenge would be passing exams. Yeah, absolutely. Majority of international students feels it's about passing exam. But I bet you it is way more than that. Majority of international students were not even ready to do some part-time jobs. Some are not even ready in handling rents, like normal rents. Some too were not even ready handling their cooking, like food. Like, I'm pretty sure of what I'm saying. Majority who have sponsors way back at home, their parents are wealthy, they've never worked all their life. This is like a new beginning for them, moving to a new country, most especially their dream country. So they never had the right orientation, And once you don't have that right orientation about what is ahead of you, you might likely fall victim of this system. So, you know that you're going to be studying, and at the same time, you're going to be doing some part-time job just to, assist yourself with little expenses, most especially if you have sponsor from the other side. And if you don't have sponsor, you're the one taking care of yourself, yeah, you need to really work hard because there are bills piling up on monthly basis. And you have no excuse, you have to pay them. So a lot of people feel that as an international student, you're just coming to the country to study and pass exams, not knowing that it is beyond passing the exam, you also need to learn how to survive. Most parents fail to tell their kids that you're going to this country, you need to learn how to survive in the system. You need to learn how to pay your monthly rent. You need to learn how to cook your own meal, no matter how it is, whether sweet or, I won't mention that word. It is. Some never had the opportunity of being in the kitchen, right? So you need to learn that before moving in so that you can be able to survive. Yeah, it is very funny how you see a lot of people who tends to be unhappy with the system because they feel, they are not getting enough from their sponsor, or the part-time job they are doing is not really paying off well to cater for food and pay other bills. But the truth is, part of the surviving idea is cooking your own meal. I've had series of people who complain that, man, they are tired of ordering food, that they wish they know how to cook. And that is the truth. If you cook your own meal, I bet you only order food once in a while. But if you don't know how to cook your own meal, you keep ordering food. Breakfast you order, lunch you order, dinner you order 3 times a day. And for those who are foodie, you tend to order more, right? Multiply it by 7 days in a week, then multiply it on monthly basis. You know how much you're going to spend on food alone. You're not even talking about your rent. I can also talk about rent too, since I've mentioned rent already. A lot of international students don't know that one of the ways to survive abroad is not by living luxury lifestyle at the beginning. You need to understand the system where you're in. You want to rent very expensive apartments. Now, you need to ask yourself, can you be able to afford to pay that rent on a monthly basis? Are your sponsors comfortable enough to pay that rent? These are questions you need to ask yourself. If you don't have enough resources to pay for a luxury apartment, it is always good. Look out for apartments that are cheaper. Then, as time goes on, after your studies, when you start earning your own money, or if you have abundant wealth, then you can decide to rent luxury apartments. These are some of the things that a lot of international students fail to understand. I don't think there's any school that will make school apartments very much compulsory. There's no school like that. I might be wrong, but I've not seen any school that make school apartments compulsory. There are some schools that their apartments are very expensive. So why would you want to live in a school apartment where you know that it's expensive? Instead of you to go and look out for other apartments cheaper enough to save you some little funds. And at the end of the day, your apartment or where you live in it just, sometimes you don't even spend much time there. Once you wake up in the morning, you're off, either to school or to work. It's just a place where you lay your head, sleep, wake up, and freshen up. That's it. So you need to understand that it is not a matter of being or claiming that you're a big girl, a big guy, living in a luxury apartment. Those things you need to know as an international student. It's not a big deal. What you should be concerned about is safety of that apartment. You need to live in an environment where safety is guaranteed, right? That is one thing you should consider. But if it's about living in a luxury apartment and all of that, my dear, you need to do better. We're talking about surviving strategy. You don't necessarily have to live in a luxury apartment you know you can't afford or your parents cannot afford. There are cheaper apartments if you search very well. Sometimes you see a lot of people, they even squat. Like, it's not a big deal to squat. It's for a time being, right? But I see some people, oh no, I've never, all my life, I've always lived alone. Like, I've always lived in my own space. I've never had a roommate. I've never, like, in my family house, we've got duplex, we've got my own personal stuff. Yeah, good. But then you're in a strange land. You need to adjust. I know it's not easy. No judgment. But then we're talking about surviving strategy. And the funniest thing is, I'm saying this, a lot of people are, oh, Damien, don't talk about that. Like, leave them. Their parents are rich. Yes, even the rich also cry in this country. Yes, the rich kids also cry in this country. Some of them are unhappy. Why? Because they can't afford some things. So even those who are really surviving more are those who their parents do not really have much because they've learned how to survive. But some of the rich kids haven't learned how to survive. They tend to order food morning, afternoon, night, right? And at the end of the day, sometimes they are hungry because they run out of funds. Some live in expensive apartments. Like, who really care where your clothes come to class or go to work? Nobody want to know where you live, if it's an expensive apartment or if it is. No, like, literally, you just need a place to lay your head where your safety is guaranteed, where just wake up in the morning, take your bath, like freshen up, go to your work, come back again, like all those routine, right? So parents need to know that they need to give their children right orientation before they move to any country of their choice. That as an international student, it is beyond passing your exams. Sometimes you also need to learn surviving strategy. And I made mention of how you need to prepare them towards doing part-time job even while schooling so that they can be able to help you too. I also made mention of cooking their own meal. No matter how little it is, they need to learn how to cook. Yeah. Then another important one again is means of transportation. You see a lot of people, they move into a new country. The next thing is they want to go and buy a car. Why? Because they used to drive car in their country. Yes, it's good to get car. It's good to buy your own car. But then you need to understand the system. You need to study how the system operates. That car you're buying, will it create more expenses for you, or will it reduce expenses for you? And there are numbers of things you need to consider before buying car as an international student. If your place of work is not far, if your school is not far from your home, you don't see a need to buy car, then don't buy car. Because buying a car comes with its own expenses. Parking fee, insurance, and so many other things, going to the mechanic to fix your car. Although it depends on the kind of car you buy anyway. So these are very important. There are times you don't even need to buy a car if your place of work or your school is the accessibility is very much cool, where you can take a bus, with a short period of time. There's no need. You yourself, when it is important for you to get a car. So don't just rush in buying car because you feel when you were way back home, you used to drive car, so you really need to understand that aspect. So that is that for this episode. Remember, it is not just about studying, but it is about what? Surviving. Give your children the right orientation. Let them know that country they are going to, it is not just about passing exams, but they also need to learn how to survive. Make research. What do they need to do as a newcomer in that country for them to survive? Surviving is a gradual process. So they need to learn how to adapt. They need to learn how to avoid certain things. They need to learn how to do the things they were never used to. I know it's a gradual process, but then parents basically need to tell their children these things before they move out of their country. And for you, who is taking care of yourself, you don't need much advice, but don't learn the hard way. Do the things the right way, and you're definitely going to survive. To all the newcomers out there, I know it's a matter of time. You're going to survive. Survival is certain if you plan yourself very well. Thank you guys for watching this episode, and I hope it was inspiring. Please kindly share. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. Thank you guys.